again, welcome back to another film review. Today's film is the most recent Shane Black directed film, that is The Nice Guys, which of course stars Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, amongst many other different actors. And this particular film is about two private investigators set in 70s Los Angeles, and is a mixture between action, comedy, and intrigue. So, Shane Black, like I say, is directing this film. He's previously directed and written Iron Man 3. He also was the writer on Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, amongst many other films that he's had taken part in. So he's got pedigree for being in charge of or writing decent films. So obviously this was something to look forward to. Trailers for this film look really good. They really made me want to see the film. Obviously, Russell Crowe, I don't think he's ever made a bad film, and Ryan Gosling, this is the type of film that I think he thrives in, because this is the kind of comedic action role that he needs. Like, the romantic roles obviously are what made him quite famous, but these are the kind of roles I think that he thrives in. So it was nice to see him back in that. So yeah, the film's set in 70s Los Angeles. Gosling, whose character is named Holland March in the film, he plays a down-on-his-luck private investigator, while Crowe, whose character name is Jackson Healy, is a kind of no-nonsense enforcer sort of private investigator. So, they're conflicting personalities and methods of doing things, but that obviously makes a good partnership down the road, which is kind of an inevitable thing in one of these films. You know, you kind of know the main characters are going to help each other. So, the first scene that we see an adult film star named Misty Mountains. What a name. She dies in mysterious circumstances, and after that we meet the main characters like March and Healy. The first time we actually meet them, when they're together, after a few scenes of just kind of getting to know their characters, the first time we actually see them on screen together, Crowe's Healy is actually breaking March's arm. So because basically Crowe has been paid to protect this young girl who feels like she's being stalked, and it turns out that it's Gosling's character that's actually trying to track her down for different reasons. He's not actually stalking her, but because obviously there's a miscommunication, he breaks Ryan Gosling's arm to kind of ward him off, you know. So that's how we start the film. So it's interesting, and it turns out that Healy and March aren't the only two people looking for this particular girl, as two armed guys break into Healy's apartment after that scene and kind of grill him over where this Amelia girl that they're both looking for is. We also, at this point in the film, meet March's daughter Holly, who goes on to have a very large part in the film. She provides a lot of comedic lines. It's the seedy underworld of 70s porn industry in LA. So as you can imagine, having a child actor in it makes it quite different, and she gets involved quite a lot. So it's quite interesting, I must say. And after the gangsters have broken into Healy's house and have grilled him, he obviously gets rid of them in his own special way. And this leads Healy to hire March to find Amelia with him. So this is where Gosling and Crowe obviously link up together, like it's inevitable as such. And this is it's a kind of a highly comedic partnership between the two as they try and locate her. You know, there's comedy, there's action. It blends together well. It's one of those films that kind of incorporates all those aspects and really makes you interested as the story goes on. And the film kind of explores, like I say, the seedy underworld of 70s adult industry. So you've got like, raunchy parties, drugs and alcohol present in most scenes. This is why obviously it's got a high rating as regards to kids watching this film, because it does delve into a lot of nudity and alcohol and drug abuse and such. So it's not one to take your kids to, but if you're an adult, you'll enjoy it. This is the point of the film also when we meet Kim Basinger, who plays Amelia's mother, and she turns out to be kind of a government official who's trying to lead a crusade against the Vegas mafia from kind of stopping. She wants to stop the porn industry invading LA as such. So this is kind of it. You can probably already tell that kind of the porn star being killed at the beginning of the film, and then everyone looking for this Amelia girl, and then her mother being linked to stopping the porn industry. You can kind of get an idea of. I'm not going to ruin the story, but you get the idea that it's all kind of interlinked and everything. So that's how it interlinks with itself. The fact that all of these characters have kind of got a similar, what's the word? They're similarly entwined in the film because it's all based around the porn industry and one specific porn film. So yeah, corruption, murder, and more murder in all honesty follow as this film takes kind of more turns than the Stephen King novel. It's one of the best films I think you'll see this year in all honesty, because it's a solid film, but it constantly has you thinking, but also has you laughing at the same time. So it's a mixture of emotions, and it's a mixture of you really have to think about certain plot lines, but then at the same time you're laughing because like Gosling's character comes out with something, or his daughter does, and it's just one of those films where it kind of all of the senses are ticked, and you just it's one of those films you can just watch over and over again, and you'll notice something different every time. I just really enjoyed watching it. It was a really interesting film, and I'm a fan of Shane Black. So this was one of his better exploits, definitely. But yeah, like I say, Shane Black, he's a great director. He comes up with like outrageously contrived and protected shootouts in his films, and there's a few like good old fashioned, big explosions and But the difference between him and some other directors is he can do all of that, but he also keeps the dialogue cracking along. And whereas maybe some directors, maybe like Michael Bay as such, are more famed for just the explosions and the action sequences, while Shane Black kind of does both. He can do an action sequence, but he keeps you involved in the story at the same time. So it's a wonderful blend that he can bring to any film that he's part of. He links everything together so well. It's just such an interesting way of doing things. And yeah, after many explosions and kit murders and many shootouts, there's a lot of wacky mayhem. There's an impressive rate of gags and like one-liners, though. That's the important thing. And like I say, I think this is where Ryan Gosling thrives as like an actor. I feel like this is the sort of role where he can really be himself, and he can come out with comedic lines, and he can play a tough guy if he has to. And like the best film I think Ryan Gosling ever made was Drive, which a lot of people probably haven't seen, but Carey Mulligan was in it as well, and it's a really interesting film. He didn't speak much in that film, but it was more of the fact that his acting style came out so well that he got through that film so well. And it's similar to this one. He speaks a lot more in this, obviously, because he comes out with plenty of like one-liners and like feel-good moments, but this is definitely a better suit for him than maybe like the romantic comedies and romantic films that he's been linked to in the previous years. So yeah, it was. I was really impressed with him. Obviously, Russell Crowe is always an impressive actor. I don't think I've ever seen a film of his that I didn't like, especially like Gladiator. That's obviously an iconic film. The 70s soundtrack on the film was amazing. They picked the right songs for every scene. It was like an innocent pleasure. It was so you didn't even have to think about it. The song just fitted the scene so well, and you just kind of find yourself singing along to some of them. And yeah, it was really. I can't say I didn't enjoy this film. It was interesting. There was action. There's comedy, and it's one of those films that, like I say, you can see it over and over again, and you'll notice something different every time because it's just so dense and dense. Dense isn't probably the word. It's full of everything. It's an amazing film. So yeah, I'll probably give this film about 4.5 stars out of 5. It's kind of a guilty pleasure film. It's one of those that not only entertains, but it deserves to do well and be one of like 2016's shining films because, yeah, like I say, it's got a solid cast. Yeah, the storyline is very good. It makes you think every 10 minutes or so about what's going to happen. The action sequences are on point. The dialogue's amazing. All the actors, especially the actress who plays March's daughter, she did a very good job considering her young age. She came out with some amazing one-liners. And yeah, she plays, like I say, quite a big part in the film in the end. And yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed it, and I can't recommend it enough. So if you're watching this and it's still in cinemas, go and watch it. If it's on DVD, go and buy it. If it's on Netflix, go and stream it. That's pretty much all I'll say. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Leave a like and subscribe if you have. There'll be plenty of film reviews in the future. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. So yeah.